Okay, hi everybody. I know, poor hubby. Life with me, my friends, is a joyride.
Uh-huh.
It's a very challenging experience for that poor man. So you should feel very sorry for him. But it's never boring. I can say that. Okay. So I was saying all kinds of funny things before, while you couldn't see me or hear me. So I'll try and say more funny things. What I was saying was tonight could get a little snarky, because I experience challenges with Capricorns, if I may be so honest. I appreciate them. I haven't had good relationships with Capricorn, so we're going to talk about that. But you have to know who you gel with, and I don't struggle with many signs, but Capricorn has been a challenge, and I'm going to be forthright about why that is. If you're raising a Capricorn, we're going to talk about that too. And I have a theory. I have a couple theories that I'm going to propose to you tonight that I think you're going to find very interesting, especially if you are a Capricorn. Yes, and where's Julia? Julia. Is she in come? Oh, hey Julia. If you're watching me, I'm thinking about Martin, of course. We have an honorary Capricorn man in our sabbatical group online. So, oh, Julia's online. Okay. They're tough, but they bring a lot to the world. Okay, so we're going to talk about the light and shadow as we always do. Oh, Martin's here. Hi, Martin. I'm calling out Martin right now. He probably feels like a celebrity. Martin is with us. Well, so Martin's going to be my gut check. Okay, and play a very important role with me tonight. Yes, he is, and yes, he will. Okay, tonight is the last astrology class ever. They're all archived. If you missed yours, they are going to be archived for free forever online. And so you can go back and watch it. You can, link to it for people if you want them to watch it. I hope that you enjoy it. It's sort of my offering to you. We start tarot next month. I'm very excited about tarot. The tarot class will be the last Friday of every month. And so I hope you're looking forward to that. We are going to do a year of major arcana. We're going to do 2 major arcana cards a month for the first 11 months of 2016. And then in December 2016, I'm going to teach you how to do major arcana readings. And I'm going to teach you some different spreads. And we're also going to launch the Sage Goddess Major Arcana Tarot deck. Because we've created our own art for all of the major arcana cards, which is very exciting. We've been working really hard on this. And it's very fun to have a Sage Goddess deck. They have crystals in the cards. They're very whimsical and colorful and beautiful. So I'm excited about all that stuff. Learning, though, we're going to use the Rider-Waite deck. So if you want to prepare, the classes are going to go live January 1st. Tarot is $20 a month. And you get about an hour, hour and a half of learning, okay? And then we're going to use Rider-Waite. That's all you need. There are like candles and perfumes and stuff because people like to have all the things. But the minimum is $20 a month. You get the hour to hour and a half long major arcana class. And the way I teach the major arcana is the journey of the Fool. Okay? And the Fool encounters all of these archetypes on his journey. And each archetype is a combination of all the ones before it. Okay? So I think you're going to love it. Then, Haley's asking, no minor arcana? So the year after, 2017, is going to be the minor arcana. Yes. And so we're going to do 3 years of each one of the suits. So by the time 2017 ends, I'm doing it slow because I really want you to learn. Do you know what I mean? I want you to feel like you don't have to have the book. I want you to be able to do readings completely confidently without looking at the book. And I'm a teacher by training, so I think I've got the key for this. And when I teach people tarot, they say they remember. And that's really what's important for me. They don't have to go back to the book. But I try to make it really affordable. I mean, classes usually cost a lot more than $20 a month. So it's and you just pay as you go. You can subscribe and join and do it automatically, or you can just pay month by month. But that's my whole goal with programs next year. My magical sabbatical class, the price is going down substantially, more than 20%, because I want to make my classes online very affordable for everybody. So January 1st, all of my new programs launch. I have a priestessing class. I have a class in ritual called Magical Sabbatical, and then I have a tarot class. In 2017, really the only teaching I'll be doing is minor arcana for the tarot. And then after 2017, I won't be teaching online anymore. I'll be holding full moon rituals, but I won't be teaching. So it's kind of the last 2 years to join me in these learning adventures. Hopefully you've been enjoying the experience in them. I've been enjoying it too. I'm taking the bulk of 2017 to finish 2 books. that have already started. One is called Ritual, and the other is called The Pillars of Priestessing on spiritual leadership, and that's going to take me a year to finish both of those books. Ritual is about a 400-page book, but it's the work of my lifetime. And I'm going to take the time to have it leather bound. Every book will be leather bound, so that you have something really magical to hold on to, but it's going to be about yay thick. And I'm having all of the illustrations custom created, so it's going to be very beautiful, but it will take a year. So that's my plan. That's what's coming up. Other things are coming up too, but I can't talk about them yet. A lot of fun, exciting things here at Sage Goddess. All the things, all the time are happening. Okay. For tonight, I'm going to be back in my body and be very grounded because we're talking about Capricorn. Anybody know what Capricorn means in Latin? You don't win anything for guessing the right answer, though. It doesn't mean anything exciting. What a surprise. Sea goat is close. Goat horn. Not Capricorn, Capricorn, but it's close. Sexy mama? No, it does not mean sexy mama. Lovely guess from Sherry, but that is exactly not what it means. I'm going to smudge, actually, before we continue. The energy right now is quite lovely, I think, in the universe. But do you know why it is? We are coming upon the longest night. And then the days will grow longer. I'm so ready for that. It's dark here at 4:30. No me gusta. I'm ready for longer days. But there's something quite beautiful about the longest night, isn't it? So I hope that you will, if you do nothing else on Yule, cuddle up with your family. I'm going to do that after I leave here with Ritual. You can get a Yule log cake. A lot of bakeries have those. That's what I'm taking to my son's class tomorrow. I'm going to teach his class about Yule and why we eat a Yule cake or burn a Yule log, because nobody knows. They see it in the bakery and say how funny that is. They don't know what it is. That's okay. We're here to spread, the informations. But you can even make a Yule log cake. You can make a long sheet cake. I've made them myself before. It's just easier now to buy it. But you can make a long, thin sheet cake and actually roll it yourself, into a Yule log. You can put little candy canes on it, and even making it with your family would be very special. But I recommend sharing a meal together. I'd recommend cuddling up and watching a fire. Don't do the technologies that night. Just be quiet with your family, the way our ancestors have been. And think about what it means to have the longest night. It's a time of reflection for you, How did this year go? Honestly. Where did you succeed? Where did you not succeed? What happened for you? What was successful for you? What were your challenge areas? It's a good night to take stock of all of those things. Ooh, somebody found a Yule log cake with mushrooms. And they're so cute. They're like little fairy mushrooms. You can make them out of, what do you call it? Not marzipan, but meringue. They're so cute. Somebody put a link. Thankfully, Michelle put a link. So now you'll know what I'm talking about. The bakery that I go to has like little gnomes and people in it. It's really, really cute. It's so cute. And yummy, too. Okay, so clarity moving forward this year, and really I think right now is the time to get clear. We have all this darkness from Mother Nature because we're supposed to go within and we're supposed to reflect and ask ourselves how the year went, what we could learn, what we could do better. And then when the days start getting longer again, you'll start to feel your system move and you'll be inspired to grow and create. So that's what this is about. I'm burning my Capricorn incense. I don't know if you like the blend this month. I loved it because it has labdanum in it with florals. So I'm going to pass the perfume around. This is one of my favorites of the 12 astrological blends. If you have to work hard, like if you're working on something and you're having to sort of force yourself to work hard, or you just need to be more, I really love it. I mean, I have been wearing it quite a lot. If you have to be diligent, if you have to meet a deadline, if you're struggling to like really focus on something, this blend for me is very much that energy of Capricorn, and focus and diligence is what they represent. So I'm so glad you like it. I love it. I don't love them all, but I do love Capricorn. There's a few ones that I was really partial to. I'm glad you're enjoying it too. Now the whole room's going to smell like Capricorn, which is really nice. Okay, we're going to talk about the gemstones of Capricorn. We're going to talk about rising and moon in Capricorn. We're going to talk about cusps if you would like, and then I'll answer all the questions. But I have quite a few unique things to talk about tonight. And remind me to talk about the number 42, 4-2, if I forget, because that is the age for Capricorns. I don't know why it is. But at 42, something shifts for Capricorns. Usually some significant life event happens at age 42. It's sort of like Saturn return for the rest of us. You know, Saturn return? Does everybody know what Saturn return is? It's relevant to our discussion tonight because what planet rules Capricorn? Saturn. What does Saturn represent? The father. Capricorn is the divine father. And Saturn is the divine father. And Capricorn is very much, Capricorn is two things. It's a soldier and a father. In the sense of like keeping boundaries and responding really well to chain of command. You know what I mean? Like father in the sense of like, I will tell you what to do and you will listen, kind of paternal instinct. Martin's turning 42 on January 15th. Good luck this year. Hang on, Julia. Something's about to happen. And it's different for every Capricorn. It really is different for every Capricorn what happens in that 42nd year. It's a power year for sure, but something happens. There's like a turning of the dial a little bit for Capricorns in that 42nd year. A lot of times it's someone who comes into your life and sort of agitates you and tests how strongly committed you are to that path of yours. We'll talk more about that. Okay. So let's begin. So Capricorn is, I'm going to look at my notes because I have so much to tell you about tonight. It's front and back and front. So I really need to make sure I get you all the points. Capricorn is what I call the karma keeper. Karma keeper. So here's what happens. At your 29th birthday, your 59th birthday, your 89th birthday, Saturn returns to the exact point in the sky where it was when you were born. Okay? And because Saturn is the karma keeper, and because Saturn is the paternal planet that reflects the lessons, it's the hard knocks planet. It's true. 29, 59, 89. Most people get to their first and second Saturn return. A lot of people don't live long enough to get to their third Saturn return. If you're lucky enough, you'll get to your third. I have no idea. Honest to goodness, I don't want to make it to 89. Honest to goodness, I don't. I'd like to get really, really close, you know, but I would rather just kind of go around 86, and I'll tell you why. I will be very old, and I can't imagine the planet of hard knocks coming around to me when I'm 88 and going, hey, ding dong, here are all the things that you didn't do well, and all the things that you aren't doing well right now, and I just need you to pay attention to all these things that you're not doing well. I can't even imagine. I just feel like, you know what, I am too tired for that. This ride's almost over. Could you just bother somebody else? Lindsay's grandmother's 93, so maybe talk to her about what the last 4 years have been like. What do people do at 29? And it's plus or minus a year. Could be plus or minus 2. Most likely it's plus or minus a year. They get married, they get divorced. They move away, they move back home. They totally change career paths, they start a new job, they quit a job. Something big happens though. And it's almost like at 28, I start to see, especially for women, but it happens to men too, I start to see women kind of like itching in their seat a little bit. And it's like, you know what, you don't have to move to a different country. You don't have to divorce your husband. You don't have to do all this. It's almost like setting everything on fire. And that's because there's this like agitation underneath us at 29, 28, 29, 58, 59. And a lot of people call the 58, 59 Saturn return, a lot of people call that the midlife crisis. It's not. It's Saturn going, hey, ding dong, you should run away. Or you should buy a really expensive car that you can't afford. Or, hey, why don't you leave your partner and just go find someone half their age? Or, better yet, why don't you try a whole new career path that you're not trained for, but just figure it out somehow? And people are looking at you like you're crazy. And it's like, no, you're not crazy. Saturn is coming around. Okay. So, and then like I said, if you get to your last one. I mentioned all of this because this is what Capricorn is about. Capricorn is about holding itself to the task and holding you to the task. Okay? Anybody have a Capricorn boss? Capricorn boss? Okay. That would be really tricky. They tend to be bosses because Capricorns are very good leaders. They're very good at driving a strategic plan or vision for themselves, for groups, for their families, for organizations. They're very good at building consensus and moving things forward. and they want to lead. Sarah has a mother who's a Capricorn, so you obviously know about that. Okay, Saturn. Anybody know the god associated with Saturn? The deity associated with Capricorn. Deity associated with Capricorn. Kronos. Who's Kronos? He's the father of what? Zeus in the major pantheon, and father of what? Time. Of course, Capricorn's the father of time. They love time, they love money, and they love work. We were all joking about the fact that my team and I, before we started, if you have a gift from a Capricorn, you have something very, very special, because they don't like to spend money and they don't like to give gifts. And so everybody on the team, literally, it went like this, like, you know what, you're right. I don't have any gifts from my friend who's a Capricorn. Why hasn't he given me a gift? You know what, he's never given me a gift. We're all going around the circle like, nope, no gifts from the Capricorns. Okay. So what are the themes for the life of a Capricorn? Let's go over the major themes. The first and most primary theme is responsibility. Okay. Sherry's like, that's not me. Here's the thing to keep in mind, okay? If anything I'm telling you about with Capricorn doesn't resonate with you, it's because you have probably moon and rising placements somewhere else. And we're going to talk about that too, okay? So let's say you have Libra rising. Libra rising loves to give gifts. It's one of the ways they show love. So if you're a Libra rising, but you're a Capricorn, you might struggle a little bit, because Capricorns want to save the money. They want to save the money. Capricorns are frugal. They're not necessarily cheap. Like, they'll buy the fine things, but they're not going to go throwing money away. Libra rising will go throwing money away. Libra rising literally will take money and just throw it in the air sometimes for fun. So that can be a real struggle for people. It's like, oh, look, I have $2. Let me see what happens if I throw it in the air. Okay. So responsibility is the first and most primary theme for Capricorns. Capricorns, from the time they are young. Do we have any more? We had a couple people come in. Are you guys Capricorns? Yeah, I've got a Capricorn in the room. It's so important. I was like, we have like a couple moon rising, and we were joking that no Capricorns are here because you're working. Yeah, she usually is working. She's here though. It was kind of our joke. Like, why would they be here? They could be working and building like an empire and becoming more successful during this hour. Like, why would they take a whole hour to do something else? Okay. Barbara's like, I'm not your average Capricorn. So keep in mind, what I'm telling you about in this session is very straight up Capricorn. Like, if you were triple Cap, and God help the triple Caps. I've known one. Even he didn't want to be a triple Cap. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty bad when you're like, I don't even want this show. You know what I mean? I didn't sign up for this. If you're a triple Cap, I don't know what you did in the life before this one, but it wasn't good. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't good.
I have 3 planets.
You have 3 planets in Capricorn?
No.
You know, that's not good either. I know. I'm just saying. But here's the thing. So one of my beautiful astrology books goes on and on and on about the fact that author believes, if you're a Capricorn, that you chose it for this lifetime. Because what Capricorns do is they come in and they work through karmic debt. And they try to burn through the bad karma and try to create good karma for their next lifetime. I think it's true. And it's beautiful, actually, inspired by that. I drew, for my book that I'm writing, I drew this line between the spirit and the material. And that's the primary struggle for Capricorns, is between the spirit and the material. The what I believe I am in my soul, and what I would like to become in the material world. And it's this constant like thread that gets pulled between the two, because a lot of times those are juxtaposed in our life, right? Like, those can be at odds with each other. The what I know myself to be in my soul, and the what I feel like I'm compelled to create in this lifetime. And what's really, really tricky is, how do you do this work, Capricorn? Like, how do you navigate this and learn and develop and wear off some of that bad karma that you brought in? So by the way, this author is proposing that no new souls come in as Capricorns. That's a heavy theory, right? That if you are a Capricorn, you are not a new soul. Now, when I think about it, I've known a lot of Capricorns. I've never known a Capricorn who was a new soul. Myself. I'm pretty good at reading souls. It's one of my gifts. I can tell how many lifetimes people have had, and I have a good sense of what those lifetimes were spent doing. There are so many new souls around me, it's crazy. I even have some here in the building that work for me. Just new young souls. And look, you got to be new sometime. Not fun, but you got to do it. It's not fun being an old, crazy old soul, old fart soul, as I like to say it either. Um, you know, I always joke I look really good for being like 4,500 years old. Um, but you know, being young is difficult too because you don't know, and sometimes the new ones don't like they know that they don't know. You know, like, oh, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know, kind of thing. It makes you cringe a little bit. But you gotta be new sometime. I would actually agree with this author. I don't think new souls are Capricorns. I think Capricorns come through, they're ruled by Saturn, they have this very clear drive to achieve something in this lifetime. And they are given that purpose almost at birth. Okay? So here's kind of how I see the lifespan of a Capricorn unfolding. When they're very, very young, they're given something. It's like a kernel of an itch. And for teaching purposes, I like to say, let's just use farmer as an example, okay? Because it's fun. So let's say a Capricorn is born, Capricorn's 1, 2 years old, 3 years old, learns how to talk. The Capricorn is like, I want to be a farmer. Other kids may not be so clear about it, but Capricorns are usually pretty clear. Like, I want to do this thing. You know how other kids will say, I want to be a farmer at 3, and then at 4, they're like, I want to be a firefighter, and at 5, they're like, I want to be a gypsy. Maybe that was just me. Or, you know, I want to be a whatever the thing is. My daughter now wants to be a manicurist, but last week she wanted to be an ice skating teacher, right? And a zombie, right? Pisces for you. But you know how it goes? Like that, right? Capricorn? No. At 3, I want to be a farmer. What do you want to be at 4? A farmer. What do you want to be at 5? A farmer. What do you want to be at 6? I want to own the farm. How about 7? I want to employ other farmers. What about at 8? I want to innovate the farming industry. Right? Okay, that's like, well, wow, right? Okay? They're really clear early on what they're supposed to do. And that goes to the theory, doesn't it? Of like new souls not being Capricorns. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're a new soul, half the new souls I know don't even know what they want to be doing. And they're grown up adults. But they're like, you know, today I'm doing this, but tomorrow it could be something else. Capricorns, no. And to Capricorns, that's very annoying. Like if you don't know what you want to do and you're not doing the thing, it's sort of like, why are you even here? Capricorns don't have a lot of patience for that. I'm reading the comments. Cindy says, I want to be a gypsy so bad my friends nickname me Gypsy. I'm your soul sister right there, Cindy. Then go do the thing. I know. My sister has a joke. She's like, you and I should, when we're old, this is when we were in our 20s, she was like, if neither of us gets married, I think we should buy like a mobile home. She's like something between like a wagon and like a mobile home. And then we can live together because we both love French fries. She's like, we can eat nonstop French fries with ranch, and we can just live in our mobile thing because you know how it goes with gypsies. The reason they like to be mobile is like things can go bad. You know what I mean? Like a bad deal, a bad tarot reading, or whatever. You got to pick up and go. So she's like, we could just live in our mobile thing and just travel the country together eating French fries. And I was like, I really hope I get married. that doesn't sound exciting to me, the Leo. Okay. Sarah says, did you interview my mom for this session? Very funny. And Sherry says, I was born having a plan. That's all I did was plan, schedule, worry, work, think, do. And that's Capricorn. Okay, so the first theme is responsibility. Second theme is karma. You came in to work off some karma, and you came to create good karma. And I think that's very important. You know, but you have to create the good, not just burn off the bad. The third theme is challenge. So here's that author's other theory, which I love, love, love. There's so many books I love. One day I'm going to make a nice bibliography of all the books because I know a lot of you would like to know what I read. And I read like diverse things, but I have a few books that I really, really love. And this author who says that no new souls are Capricorns also says that every Capricorn chose a challenging body for this lifetime. Isn't that interesting? A challenging gender, a challenging race or ethnicity, a challenging set of parents for the body, a challenging sexual orientation or identification, something hard. Think about it. Kind of interesting, right? I once had a good friend who's an African-American man, Capricorn, who told me over and over again, like, I don't know who this is. You know what I mean? Like, I know people see me this way, but like, this isn't how I know myself. And so it just, you know, all these years into my life, it makes just, this interaction is just so strange because I forget. Which that's an old soul, right? So that's an old soul who probably wasn't an African-American man 100 years ago in the last lifetime, right? So it's like you come through. A lot of us feel that way. I have another employee here. It's really funny. She's Chinese, and she's gorgeous. When I first met her, I was like, you're a blonde man. Like when I see you, because I see through people's like current lives into previous lives. And she's like, I know, I've been male every other life, and like I don't even know how to like do this weird body that I'm in. It's like I don't feel like this is who I am. But so think about the Capricorns in your life, whether they are stuck in a body or like a race or ethnicity or a gender or a sexual orientation that there's something uncomfortable about it, something to agitate a challenge because you've come through to experience a challenge. Saturn is the planet of challenges. So you didn't come in on an easy ride. Something in your life will be challenging to you because you're going to have to go through the hoops to learn. Does that make sense? Yeah. So interesting. Could be challenging body too. Could be challenging weight or challenging body shape. Maybe you're tall or you're really, really petite. You know, overweight, naturally overweight, just sort of part of your structure. Something about it where you are uncomfortable in your skin is what she was saying. It would be very interesting. Okay. Next theme is survival. Survival. You're here to survive. Some signs are here to thrive. Do you know what I mean? Some signs are here to work, sort of like Virgo, right? Some signs are here to survive and to scale the mountain, and that's what the goat does, right? To scale the mountain. Next theme is balance, material and the spirit, right? Am I this spiritual being? You know, and you show a Capricorn how to meditate, and they're overthinking it, right? But they're like, oh, this is so interesting. Like, I'm having this experience. So like, well, I got to get back to work. Like, I can't, that was a waste of time. So it's this constant stride between that. We're going to talk about health too, Angela, because there's very specific issues for Capricorns. Next theme is martyrdom. Martyr. One of the books I love talks about the fact that Capricorn goes without a lot of stuff. But they love going without. It's sort of like, of course I go without. Like I don't need all those things. Do you know what I mean? Is that true for you? Do you go without a lot? Yeah. It's like I don't, but it doesn't, to them it doesn't feel like going without. For a lot of us, if you say you can't have any of those things, we're like, what do you mean? You can't have the things. Capricorn's like, I don't need the things, so to speak. Hard work and legacy. Capricorns are very concerned about what will be left of their life when it's over. Did they make the world a better place? Did they do something to help children? Did they leave the environment cleaner? Going back to my farm example, did they build a better farm? They want to build a better thing. Okay. Let's talk about the late life development. So there is across the board, no matter what you read about Capricorns, this idea of delayed gratification. Okay. And so anybody on the line in the online group, anybody who's a Capricorn who has passed age 42. I won't ask you your age, but I would love to know if you're past that place. Okay, I've got a couple. So do you feel like in the later years of your life, past 40 or 42, that you've come into more of your own skills, things that you would enjoy, that things have come to pass for you in the later years of your life? Because that's what everything suggests about Capricorns. Okay. The good stuff comes later for Capricorns. And they don't age. Have you noticed this? You're very young, so. Are you not? I could see it though. Well, I think you're an old soul.
You're 22, you're not very old, and you're not very young.
No, it's because the age that we're saving for is 15, so I get kicked out of our.
I could see it. I could see it. I could see it.
So I have to bring my birth certificate and my ID just to make, and the manager always has to speak to me.
I don't think you guys can hear what's happening in the room, but my Capricorn in the room, my resident Capricorn, because again, the rest of them are working. There's a lot of people in the room. They're not Capricorn sun. Is 22, but she gets mistaken for 15. This is the thing. They don't age. Okay, they really, really don't. On their face. Your mom's a Capricorn? Does she really? They don't age. But their bodies break down. Okay, so this is what I want you to know. Let me skip to health then. I can't believe it's already 6:40. It's a crazy time to me. We're in this weird time vortex since age goes. So it's like, whoa, how did I just skip 40 minutes? The bodies break down. So the two things you have to know about being a Capricorn: you will look great as you get older. You need to exercise throughout your life because Capricorn rules the knees. And one of my friends who's a very gifted astrologer said, do you know why that Capricorn rules the knees? Because they need to get down on them more and surrender. Don't take that to a sexual place.
Too late.
She means surrender, my friends. She doesn't mean what you may have been thinking. Capricorns have joint problems. They do. Do you already? Nuh-uh.
My mom and me and my sister, we all have really bad knees.
Do you really?
And then me and my brother have really bad
Yep. Arms and the elbows and all the things. Capricorns love to get massages.
Oh, yeah.
I've never known a Capricorn who didn't love to get a massage because they hurt. The Capricorns tend to be very athletic too, and so that's double trouble, right? Like, of course, the slothful people in the world, are not Capricorns. Wouldn't you know? There are other signs that we've talked about previously, so I won't go back and we'll share that wisdom with you. But there are more slothful signs. Capricorns are trying to do all the things, and they're trying to work out and everything, and then their elbows and their knees and everything. So if you are a Capricorn, you might want to try some of the supplements for your joints, because they can be very helpful. And Capricorns tend to have high blood pressure because Capricorns also have like a restriction of the vessels and so forth in the body. So you have to watch your diet a little bit. You have to eat better food, Capricorn. No fast food. Capricorns like fast food. I don't know what it is. Yeah, no, Capricorns, they can talk to you a lot about fast food. Like where to go, what's good to talk about. Like they kind of know the things. Not all of them. Of course, nothing holds true for everybody, but Capricorns don't mind a good drive-through burger. Okay. So we've talked about surrender a little bit, patience and loyalty. Famous Capricorns. Really fun quote in one of my books. Even Jesus was a Capricorn.
Well,
It's
that's
true.
debatable.
If look, friends, if you take the 25th as his birthday, he is a Capricorn, and he worked very hard. I thought that was a cute quote. She meant it in a sweet way. She's like, even Jesus was a Capricorn. You could take him. It is kind of a bumper sticker. Okay. So what are the lessons? One of the main lessons for Capricorn, and I want to talk about the stones here too in the context of this. Thoughts are energy, Capricorn. You manifest what you are thinking, right? What do Capricorns think about? Career and money and all the bad things that could happen.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
She's really helpful. She's like over here being my affirmation. I love it. And they think about sex too. They do. Capricorns are horny. Don't let them fool you. They are. Look,
We love you for it.
Capricorns are. Let me tell you something though about relationships, and this is where I might get snarky. And let me tell you, I'm still processing my bad relationship experience with a Capricorn. So I'm trying not to project. Okay, look how good I'm being. I'm being very good. I'm not projecting. I'm not making this about me because I'm a Leo and I'm apt to make things about me. I'm not doing that. If you and my sister actually has a dating policy. My sister is single, and we have this joke like meeting somebody at a bar and they're like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, were you born between December 20th and January 20th?" And the person says yes. It's like, "Oh, hey, well, it was great to meet you. Anyway, have a good night." So we both have had challenging experience with Capricorns. Here's the thing: if you want to be in a relationship, a long-term relationship with a Capricorn, because they are very loyal and they will stay with you. Remember, I talked to you about the farm, the kid with the farm. Okay. At 4 years old, Capricorns get on what I call the road. Okay. This is the road to the thing, to the job. They get on the road. They're 4. They're on that road. Is anybody going to hire them to do the job on the road? No, but they're on the road. Okay. And you better believe they're going to follow the road. And I feel bad for parents because whatever your Capricorn tells you at 4, that's going down. I hope you like it. I hope it's not weird because that's happening. And you should totally believe it and support it. You should start buying them the farm toys and the things and like the shovels or whatever farmers use. I don't even know, but you should buy them all the things. So at 4, they get on the road. Okay? At 4, they get on the road. They're on that road forever. And if you want to be in a relationship with them, you have to be on the road. Do you know what I mean? So let's say they want to be a farmer, and then a nice young lady comes along, and she's not a farmer. Okay. Maybe she burns farms down, or she doesn't. She would never live on a farm, or she doesn't like animals, or she's allergic to animals. Okay. I'm trying to give an example to keep you engaged. Okay. That relationship is not going to work. That Capricorn will walk away from that person like it never happened. Okay. Seriously, will walk away from that person. So the person in the relationship has to be on the road. And the real test of the relationship, will it work or will it not work, is can you help them get further down the road? I'm actually being quite serious about this. Can you help them get further down the road? If you own a farm, like how much in your favor is that going to be? Like not only am I on the road with you, but I own a farm and you can help me farm my farm. Then it's like I'm totally with you. You know, it helps if you also like them and they're attractive, you have something in common. But if you're on the road with them, the relationship's going to work. If you are not on the road, let me tell you, it ain't going to work. So I have people who come to me for dating advice all the time, astrological dating advice, which I'm happy to offer. People just don't like to hear what I have to say sometimes, but I'm happy to offer it. And there are women all the time who are like, I'm in love with this Capricorn man. And I'm like, what does he do? He's an attorney. What do you do? Not attorney or whatever. Like, right? It's like, no. You know, if you're not going to help him get new clients, now you might help him get clients, or you're intellectually stimulating to him, or you're also an attorney, or something like that. But if you're like a juggler in a circus, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? A contortionist at a bar in Los Angeles. Okay. These things are real, my friends. That was a real example. Part-time juggler and contortionist with an attorney. Capricorn. Not gonna work. After. Okay. So let me come back. Relationships. So only if it supports where they're going. The other challenging thing, we can come back to this too, but the other challenging thing about Capricorns is Capricorns tend to see everybody in their life as equal. Okay? That can be really tough if you are a very, what might be the word? A partner who really wants to feel very special. Okay? Because Capricorns, and here's what's interesting. Somebody asked if Capricorn men are different than women. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Okay, because Capricorn men and women are both on the path. They both are committed to what they're doing. They're both focused. They're both loyal. And they both want somebody who's going to help them get further down the path. Because they see relationships as a business decision. Is it a good business decision? Is it not a good business decision? Then I'm not going to do it, kind of thing. Yeah? Okay. I was going to tell you about that. Oh, Stonehenge. So my theory about relationships with Capricorns is that they see everybody as equal. I love this person. I also love this person. I love this person. I call it Stonehenge because it's sort of like all of the stones in the formation are all the people that Capricorns love. And if you're somebody who wants to feel special, like, don't you love me more than all those other people? The answer is kind of no. No, I kind of don't. I kind of love all the stones in my Stonehenge. You are one of the stones in my Stonehenge, but you're not the stone in my Stonehenge. Does that make sense? Sherry's like, yes, and good luck. That's really challenging for some signs. And you have to keep that in mind, Capricorn. Like, it can be very hurtful. This is why Leos don't work with Capricorns, because Leos are like, certainly, I am the stone in your Stonehenge, right? And it's like, no, you're just a stone in my Stonehenge. It's like, well, then I'm not in your Stonehenge. I don't want to play with you then. I go find something else. And that's pretty much how relationships between Leos and Capricorns go. It's about 15 minutes in, and they're like, okay, I don't need your Stonehenge either then. Let's just go find other partners. Michelle says, my parents were Leo and Capricorn, 2 divorces. Oh, it's too funny. But here's what's beautiful about that too. If you're okay with the Stonehenge and Capricorns, then you know you have somebody who really cares about you and cares about everybody in their circle. So if we look at the light of this and not just the shadow of this, if you're somebody who doesn't mind not being the most special person to a Capricorn, then you can really appreciate that you are one of those people. Their Stonehenges aren't big. Do you know what I mean? Not a ton of people that you love, right? So if you're in their Stonehenge, it's kind of a big deal, right? If you can learn to appreciate that. But you have to be able to appreciate that. Okay. In my notes, it says cheap. 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 But this is part of the martyrdom and self-denial. They're mostly cheap with themselves, Capricorns, because they're trying to be frugal. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's do positive qualities, challenging qualities, and we'll talk about rising and moon. And then I'll leave time for questions. Thrifty. Allie, thank you for that alternative word. It did say cheap, 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 cheap in my notes, but I like thrifty, and frugal is a much more delicate word. Denise says, yes, eBay is my friend. Okay, good. Let's start with the good. All the good, yeah? Loyal, charitable. A lot of Capricorns donate to causes. So maybe they don't spend a lot of money on themselves, and maybe they don't buy you a lot of gifts, but they do tend to donate. They're sexy as heck. Part of it is because they don't need you, and that makes people very sexy. Have you noticed that? Like, people who need you, are they sexy? Kind of not, you know. People who don't need you and kind of don't need anything that you are bringing to the table, they just, you know, now they need you to help them be more successful, but they don't need you emotionally, and that can make people look very, very sexy. Cancers sometimes don't look so sexy for that reason, because they're like Klingons, they're Klingons, right? Cancers. Please don't leave me, please don't leave me, please don't leave me, right? Pisces too, please don't leave me, I'll cry if you leave me, kind of thing. But Capricorn's not saying that. Capricorn's like, it's okay if you leave. I have other people in my Stonehenge. But you know, I hope you'll stay. But I don't need you to stay. Cat's like, no stage 5 clingers. That's Pisces and Cancer. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. You're not going to leave me, are you? You're not going to leave me, are you? They are natural born leaders, and they magnetize a room. I mean, Capricorns, second only really to Leos, magnetize a room when they walk in. They have quiet confidence. They are very secure in who they are and what they know and what they do. And that makes people very sexy, I think, when they walk in and they're just like, I'm here. I got this. I know what I'm doing. They're not arrogant, but they're very confident. And there's something really beautiful and sexy about that. See how it's nice? It's nice, isn't it? They're organized. They're organized. And they have organization envy. I've noticed this with Capricorns. Like, they organize all their stuff, but if they go to somebody's house where it's like better organized, or there's like new organizing things, they'll be like, where did you get that? And then they'll want to go home and they'll do their organization again. Is that true? Yeah. Completely. Do you have the envy?
My mom and me will say, oh, she'll even have me organize her room,
Mm-hmm.
and then she'll like try and copy me. She'll go to my room and try to copy me.
Organization copycatedness. Don't take a Capricorn to IKEA. Can I just tell you that right now? Because IKEA's cheap, 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 right? IKEA's cheap, and they have all kinds of organization stuff, and that's not a good combination. It could be a good date though for a Capricorn. Like, hey, do you want to go to IKEA because we can have a cheap dinner? Yeah, the Container Store, but Container Store is expensive. Oh yeah. No. If you want to take a Leo to the Container Store, that's a whole different thing. We'll find all the things we don't need. Martin's like, I'm not organized at all. You probably have some kind of a latent Libra or Gemini or something else in you where there's sort of a more scattered. Okay, so back to the good points. Persistent. They don't give up. They're on the path. They're going to do the thing. I'm going to own a farm. If Capricorn tells you I'm going to own a farm, let me just tell you, bank on it. They're going to own a farm. They might be 95 and just buying the farm, but they're going to get there before they die. So just know that. They're stable and very grounded. Those are all the good things. Are you ready? I tried to do 1 for 1. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to do like 6 good things and 10 bad things. So it's 1 for 1. They're dogmatic. You know, it's the paternal thing. Like and even the women are paternal. Even the women are dads. You know what I mean? Bad cop, right? Bad cop. They're dogmatic. They're rigid, except when it comes to sex. You can have fun with a Capricorn. They won't admit that they're having fun, though. And they also won't admit that you're the most fun. But they will have fun with you. Remember, you're just in their Stonehenge. And there are other things in the Stonehenge. You gotta remember that. That's a very important thing. You know, you will laugh at that metaphor, but honestly, you'll be like, if you'll meet one, you'll be like, Stonehenge. This is what's happening right now. She told me about it. It's Stonehenge. I'm just one other stoner Stonehenge. True. Self-absorbed. Guess what they want to talk about? The path, the farm, So here's the thing, if you want to woo, I can give you a cheat sheet to woo a Capricorn. Be aloof, don't be needy, ask them about the farm, and don't expect gifts, and don't give them gifts. You know what the other thing is? They don't want to be given gifts. Why? Then they feel they have to give you a gift, and they want to give you a gift? No, they don't. They don't want to give you a gift. Don't give them a gift. But you know what? That's very helpful at the holidays. All I have around me are people who are like, here's my list, and here I want these 94 things. And anyway, any of them is fine, but like I alphabetize it for you. Capricorns, no. They're like, maybe more vegetables from my farm? Denise says, no, I love gifts, just don't expect one. Okay, well, so you got to do that, though. I've also known Capricorns to give self-centered gifts. Like, they love massages. I've known Capricorns to, like, give gifts that are massage. Like, you wanted this. This wasn't up for me. You could have given this to anybody in your Stonehenge, right? Just get me a card. That is so true. Michelle said that's, like, kind of the Capricorn response. They look like they're boring, but they're not. Do you know why? What's the difference between boring and focused? Direction, something happening. They're thinking about things and they're doing things in their head, but there's a lot going on with them. You know what I mean? They aren't boring. They have hobbies. Capricorns always have hobbies and things that they like to do. They just feel guilty doing them because it's not work, right? Their hobby of like collecting things or traveling isn't helping them get the farm. So then they're like, why did I spend a week doing that? It didn't get me any closer to the farm. Now I'm behind, right? Okay. They're pessimistic. This is the lesson. If you only take away one thing, Capricorn, from tonight, I need you to realize that your thoughts are energy. And I gave you a stone to help you do that. So one of the stones in this set, which is blue chalcedony. Blue lace agate is also a good stone. Same thing, really, the same stone, just a different part of the vein. Blue chalcedony helps you lighten up your thoughts, keep them more focused on what's positive, and also helps you be more creative in terms of problem solving. Because you're so focused on what could happen, guess what you're doing half the time? Manifesting it, right? You look around and you're like, well, see, I told you that was going to happen. It's like, yeah, I can tell you that's going to happen too. If you sit around and say, I don't feel well, I'm sick, I don't know, my body, it's like, what do you think's going to happen? It's not rocket science. Your thoughts are energy, and Capricorns really need to monitor the inner monologue. You're so hard on yourself, Capricorn, because you haven't achieved what you think you're supposed to achieve, except you're mortal, and if you look around at what everybody else has achieved, you probably achieved 10 times more than them already. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to cut yourself a little bit of slack. And here's the other thing that Capricorns really have to learn. Stop focusing on the outcome. Here's the thing. Guess what? We all know how your story ends. You get the farm. It's like not a movie where you're like, wait for the ending, wait for it. They got the farm. Guess what? They got the farm. We all know you're going to get the farm. So can you enjoy the journey? Maybe along the way to the farm, you meet a nice person and have a relationship. Or maybe on the way to the farm, you develop a hobby, and I don't know, things could happen that might be enjoyable on the way to the farm, and that's the journey lesson for you. Okay, Capricorn rising. We always talk about this. I tend to not review because we've talked about rising versus moon versus sun. Your rising is your mask in the world. Your rising is how you show up, okay? And so I'm a Libra rising, so I show up in the world as a Libra, meaning I'm talkative, I want to please people, I'm trying to create harmony and balance and beauty in my world. That's Libra rising. Capricorn rising, so whatever your rising sign is, that's how you show up. Okay. Does everybody know what your rising sign is? Okay, good. Capricorn rising? Okay. But your hair is pink, and that means there's hope for you. No, I'm just saying. I love it. I love it, and a Capricorn with pink hair, honestly, is just one of my favorite things. Truly, it warms my heart. As someone with purple hair, it speaks to me. Okay, Capricorn rising. You show up in the world as a Capricorn, which can be a big lie if you're, let's say you're a Leo with Capricorn rising. It's sort of like you show up in this other thing, like, no, I'm very aloof and very focused, and I'm working very hard, and I don't really need love or relationship, and I don't talk a lot because I'm thinking more than I'm talking. And then, whoops, I'm the life of the party. That can be like a bait and switch, with your personality. So that would be very challenging. If you're really think about it. If you're a Capricorn rising though, and you're a Virgo sun, That's not so much of a pull off the coat and I'm wearing a bikini kind of thing, right? It would be less of a surprise. Christine is Sag with Cap rising and Moon. Interesting. So that's kind of a bait and switch in a way, although Sagittarians are the philosophers, right? And Capricorns are very much intellectuals too. So you would have some good consistency there. Brooke is a Leo rising, Cancer sun, with Capricorn moon. Is that what you have? Leo rising, Cap moon. Okay, so let's talk about Cap moon. Cap moon. Cap moon has a lot to learn about emotions because Cap moon. Remember, the moon is always the subconscious. What's going on underneath it all, right? Your sun sign, by the way, is the sign that you develop into. It is the lifelong work for you to become the most evolved version of your sun sign. Your moon sign is what's happening underneath. It's sort of like the shadow side of you. And with a Capricorn shadow, it's really getting into how do you work with your emotions. You're constantly keeping them down, right? Like, I'm not going to let my emotions get the best of me. But your emotions have to get the best of you sometimes. Why do you think you have them? They're teaching you something. So Cap moons are constantly doing this with their feelings, pushing it. But what happens when we repress something, right? Like, bubbles up, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually, like, you're trying to push it down, and the thing is like, it's like a monster, right? So Sag moon, or Capricorn moon, you really have to focus on allowing your emotions to come through, because I have found in my life, I've known quite a few Cap moons who've had kind of like nervous breakdowns later in life. It's no joke. Because they've gotten so far out of being in touch with their emotions that by the time those emotions come up and through, they don't even know what to do with them anymore. Or they've had relationship problems. You know what I mean? Where they're like not feeling the feelings. Any Cap moons in the room? I can't remember. It's one over there. Does that resonate with you?
42, I had to
Did you? At 42, huh?
Well, at 41, I'm still 42 now.
Yeah.
It was like last year.
Yeah.
I had a meltdown and I had to
And so are you doing better at working with your emotions now?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And, in Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Cap moon and sun rising.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my next birthday.
Yeah.
Get in touch with those emotions.
Life's work. That's right. She's talking about working through her emotions and kind of having that breakdown moment last year. So it's very interesting. Okay, so let's talk about the other crystals because people are asking about stones. Let's see if I had anything else around Cap moon. Cap moon people though are good because when under stress they don't fall apart the way some of us do, right? Under stress. Certain signs you don't want around you when shit hits the fan. Have you learned this year who those people are? So you can give yourself a little space. Shit hits the fan. It's funny because I like having earth sign employees, and the reason is they keep a cool head when shit hits the fan. Cancer people freak out when shit hits the fan. They cry. So do Pisces. They run up. Pisces are like paralyzed. They don't even know what to do. Like the fish, they're just like, how do they do? It's really sad. Libras and Geminis, all the air signs, like they're thinking about doing something, but they're not. Like they're thinking about a response, but they don't know how to respond, which makes Leos and Sagittarius and Aries really mad because we're actually doing the thing while they're thinking about it. And while the Pisces and Cancer are crying about it. And meanwhile, the Virgo and the Capricorn are like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Taurus is fine. So anyway, that's kind of my little analysis. Well, that's Scorpios. Scorpios are always plotting total world domination, right? I mean, Scorpios are always like, Scorpios, if they didn't cause it, they secretly wish they caused it. Right. No, Scorpios are almost earth sign-like in how they keep their emotions under control and in check into themselves. You know what I mean? Like by the time you get a Scorpio to react about something, it's so bad that you deserve it. At least in their head. We talked about this with Scorpio, right? Like whatever. By the time they whip their stinger out and at you, you have done something real bad. Sherry's like, crap. It's true. Anyway, okay. Let's talk about the stones. Go to Crowsight. You got to feel the feelings, Capricorn. And when someone comes into your life who tries to help you feel the feelings, That's a lesson from the universe. Maybe you should try feeling them. It won't kill you. That's one of the lessons. But this rhodochrosite represents opening your heart and healing your heart too. Capricorns tend to make the safe choices in relationships. Have you noticed that? Safe choices. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, there are we other signs who make the unsafe choices in relationships until we get older and more evolved and figure out what we should actually be doing, have a lot to learn from Capricorns. But if you line up 4 people and one of them is hella fun and one of them is hella cute and one of them is hella rich and one of them is hella safe, my Bay Area language for you, they're going to go hella safe. They'll be tempted by hella cute. And they will spend some time with hella fun. And they will judge hella rich. Because they don't like people who are all about the monies. But they will marry hella safe. Yeah? Okay. Black agate. This is partly about grounding, but this is partly about honoring the depth of your feelings. Honoring the depth of who you are. And it's also, this stone in particular is about balancing that act between the spiritual and the material. Do you know what I mean? It really can help you create that balance as opposed to always being off kilter, way too much in the material, way too much in the spiritual. It's really about finding the balance between the two. Chalcopyrite is a stone that will help you with confidence, but also with abundance. It's also a stone of magic, and I think one of the things that's missing from a lot of Capricorns' lives, I say this because I have a lot of them as clients, is magic. They want to believe. Do you know what I mean? I think we all want to believe, but Capricorns in particular, though, are kind of intrigued because at their core they're spiritual people, and they've been around the block more than once. They're not new souls, so they kind of have a sense that spirituality is a thing. It scares them because it's not on the path, unless they're becoming a monk, and then they're like, "This is great." Right? Mm-hmm. But if their path is not spiritual, then they see spirituality as a distraction. But they really want the magics. You know what I mean? And then blue chalcedony, which is about finding peace, engaging your creativity, because it's still important. No matter how technical your role is, it's still important. Thank you for joining Allie's. Allie's going to pick up her daughter. So those are the 4 stones I thought would be good medicine for you. Some to support you and some to help you overcome challenges, like your challenge around creativity, the challenge around opening your heart, the challenge around being more tender. It's okay to be tender. Keep in mind, Capricorn is the soldier. They're going to get through. They're going to try to control. They want chain of command. They want to know what the rules of engagement are. But sometimes in life, there are not rules of engagement. And sometimes in life, people don't need a father or a soldier. Then who are you going to be? That's kind of the key question for tonight, right? I like to come down to like some central question. Like, what are we really talking about here? And when people don't need a soldier or a father, who are you going to be to them? Can you be a lover? You know, can you be a mystic? Can you be a philosopher? And if I took your path away, what would you do? The universe will ask you that question sometimes, Capricorn. And you have to learn who you are outside of the path, which is very scary too. Find a new path, that's true. We didn't talk about children tonight. Anybody raising a Capricorn before I go? I know we're a little over the top of the hour, but I wanted to mention that. Anybody raising a Capricorn? Maria is. Okay. Capricorn children, okay? Just really quickly. Really honor whatever they say they're going to do, because just trust me, they're going to do it. And support it as much as you can without questioning it. But you do at the same time have to teach them that there's more than just a singular focus. You know, like get them into an art class, or teach them how to paint, or get them into music and have them learn to play a musical instrument. Try and engage whatever side of the brain their path represents, engage the other side of the brain, so that you at least give them a balance in their and Anastasia's asking what if they can't even talk yet. The good news is they probably haven't told you their path. I mean, they may be drawing you pictures of it, like there's farm animals or whatever. But if they can't talk yet, but I have 2 children, so even before my kids could talk, I could sort of tell what the proclivity was, right? Like my son just wanted to play with trucks before he could say he called them what sounds like the F word. So I won't say what he called trucks. It was that word. But that's all he wanted to do. And he's still very much like an engineer. He's not a Capricorn, so that's not his path. But I could tell what he was inclined to. So I would get him finger paint just to engage the other side of the brain. I didn't deny him all of the that he wanted, but I did give him other things to play with so that he would have some creativity to balance him out. Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Any questions in the room?
My question.
Yeah.
Born December 1st, both these Sagittarius. She had a near-death experience in a full procedure on the 26th.
Okay.
Right after she was born. She is 2AC, what you're saying right now.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like
so she was reborn kind of thing?
It almost seems like that because everything you're saying,
she doesn't have moon or rising in Capricorn?
I don't know her chart.
Yeah.
But literally, she's everything and now skip the Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying.
Well, so the question is, there's somebody who doesn't isn't necessarily a Capricorn by sun sign. Martin's like, is that Brian? It is Brian. It's so fun when my virtual and physical worlds collide. It would scare the shit out of a Capricorn though. To our point tonight. But he was saying he knows a Sagittarius who's very much has all these traits of a Capricorn. What I want you to remember is this, and if you don't know what your things are, if you don't know what your sun, moon, and sign are, go to astro.com. It's free. You can enter your birth data there. You have to know to the minute when you were born. You have to know the location where you were born. That's all you need to know. And it'll pull up your sun, moon, rising, and your entire natal chart, which is really helpful. And then there are wonderful astrologers online like Aquarius Nation, where you can actually go and get a full report done. Her waiting list is 3 or 4 months long, but there are people who can do really amazing things to teach you about your profile. So I wanted to say that. But if you don't know your full profile, you're missing 2/3 of the data. Do you know what I mean? Your sun sign is 1/3 of who you are. Your moon and rising is 2/3 of who you are. And it matters. Before I knew I was Sag moon, I was like, why? Since I was little, I've been so interested in religion, and particularly the darker side of religion. I wanted to dabble in things when I was very, very young. And my parents are kind of devout Christians. I mean, it did not come from my family. And I was sort of like, why am I the black sheep? Hello, Sag moon. That's how we roll. If I had known early on, and so now knowing my kids' moon signs and rising signs helps me parent them better. And if my mom knew astrology and she would have seen me as a child, she would have been like, this is just some Sag moon stuff coming up. My daughter is Scorpio moon. We've talked about this. Scorpio moon people want to talk about death all the time. Every 5 minutes they want to talk about death. If I didn't know my daughter was a Scorpio moon, I would think she was the weirdest kid alive. Honestly, it is like zombie rising, zombie planet, zombie apocalypse. I see a zombie. Can I be a dead person for Halloween kind of thing? No, you're a 6-year-old girl, right? But knowing what their sun, moon, rising position is can help you parent them better. So I'm like, you know what? Enough with the zombies for today. You can be a little more tolerant with how they are. So it's really helpful. So go to astro.com, get your profile at least, and then read. And you don't need books. You know what I mean? You really don't. You can do a Google search. What does it mean to have a Capricorn moon? And they'll embellish for you everything that I've shared with you tonight. This is just sort of a primer. Shell says, how close to the minute do you have to be? You have to be to the minute because things change. You know what I mean? It matters. If you don't know your birth information, just get as close as you can get. My parents don't know because they were, they're immigrants, so they don't know. My dad isn't even sure he was born on the day that he thinks he was born. It's like in the village, nobody really knew. It's like, is it July? I think it's the 9th. Who knows? But you have to get as close to the time that you can get. Okay, so I have giveaways. 2, to be precise. So what I did was I separated the set for tonight to give away some of the tools, celebrating the fact that this is the last astrological class. Yeah, Wanda says it's on your birth certificate. My dad doesn't have a birth certificate. He was born in a village, kids. There's no birth certificates. Nobody was even there. There were some animals there. They didn't know what time it was either. That's the old country for you. So our in-person winner is Connie. Connie here? I think Connie was supposed to be here. Maybe didn't come. So I will say this for Connie. Connie, if you're watching online, I have your stuff. And my online winner for her set is Marsha Lewis. Is Marsha here tonight? I don't remember seeing your name in the feed, Marsha, but if you're here, you won. And if you're not here, you won. And I will send it to you in the mail. I'll send Connie's to her in the mail, too. So good, everybody. Okay, so I would say I'll see you next time, except there's no next time for astrology, but January 29th. So here are all the things coming up. You ready? Monday is what? You really gave it away. Do you guys online know what Monday is? I already gave it away. It's Yule, and what are you doing on Yule, hopefully, with me? Full moon! We're doing full moon ritual and Yule ritual at 6 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. Please go to the event page. You can go to Facebook, Sage Goddess Facebook, under events and RSVP. I'm going to have some fun things happening. We are doing full moon ritual and Yule ritual together on Monday night from 6 to 7 Pacific time. And then we have our tarot class starting in January. That's the 29th. So save the date. It's going to be the last Friday of every month from 6 to 7 p.m. So those are the things I wanted to let you know about tonight. It's been so good to be with you guys for the year. I want to officially say thank you. I'm really into closing circles and opening circles. So I close the circle of this year of learning astrology with you by saying thank you. So much gratitude for being here live in the audience, which is really helpful to have people live here to laugh. Otherwise, it's awkward. Like, I assume that you're laughing online, but I don't know. I mean, I think I'm so funny, but sometimes I'm not a good gauge, you know? So it's good to know when things kind of fall flat or are really funny. But I appreciate the attention that you've paid. I appreciate your presence online, and I appreciate your presence here in the room. It's just meant so much to me. So thank you for taking the year to learn astrology with me. I hope that you have learned things that make your life better. That's really my goal. You know, by knowing all the stuff about the signs, it helps at work, it helps with your family, it helps with your kids, it helps with future kids that you'll have. You'll be like me, timing your pregnancies. You know, we can't do it yet. I don't want a Gemini. Kind of thing. I didn't do that, but there were certain signs I did not want. Let me be candid. So we were more active in the summer months, let's say, with the intention of having children. But I hope that it is time to. Or when my doctor said I think we have to do a C-section, and I was like, we're still in Pisces, right? I don't want another Aries. I hope it has enhanced your life and made your. I couldn't. I've got an Aries sitting next to me. My son was an Aries. My daughter was like getting close to being cuspy, and I was like, listen, I'm having a Pisces daughter. If I have to pull her out myself and go voila to the world, I will do that. My doctor was like, you are one crazy lady. I'm having a Pisces. I have Pisces. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It's really been a pleasure to be your teacher in this capacity, and with a lot of love I say that. So thank you. And hopefully I'll see you in January for tarot. We're going to begin at the beginning. We have the Fool and the Magician. The Magician is my life path card. I'm going to be teaching you about life path numbers. And so all of you have a life path card. One of the 22 major arcana cards is your life path card. And so it'll be so interesting to find out what your life path number is, and then to learn all about, so you won't be just learning about the cards, you're going to be learning about you, which I think will be very exciting too. The Fool and the Magician on January 29th. I hope you'll join me soon. You'll find out all about it online if you join me on Facebook. I hope you will. So I'll see you. Have a great night, everybody. Get ready for Yule. Go make a Yule log cake. You'll thank me for it afterwards. Bye, everybody.